Today I'm going to teach you that veggies can be the hero of your dinner table this festive season with my pumpkin Wellington recipe. Delicious, it is loaded with fine bulgur, and it is so easy to make. My pumpkin Wellington is a twist on a traditional Wellington where you've got beef wrapped in pastry. Instead of a beautiful beef fillet, we're going to use a sweet, delicious butternut pumpkin instead. And the flavor sponge we're going to use today is this beautiful bulgur. Not only is bulgur unbelievably tasty, quick and simple to cook, but it's also really high in nutrients and it's really good for you. So this Christmas, this unbelievable Wellington is not only going to be amazing and impress your family and friends, but it's also going to be great for you, meaning you're going to feel amazing over this festive period. So let's get stuck into the recipe. So our first step to making our stunning pumpkin Wellington is to roast off our stunning pumpkin. So I love to use a butternut squash or butternut pumpkin. Reason being, it's got a lot of natural sugars in there. It's really sweet. It's really decadent. Plus it has a really cool shape. So when we wrap this in, amazing pastry, this is going to have a similar shape to a traditional Wellington. Place your pumpkin straight into a baking tray. We're then going to grab a knife and carefully just kind of stab that pumpkin a few times. And the reason I'm doing that is it's going to speed up the cooking process. It's also going to allow the salt, pepper and olive oil that I'm going to pour on top of this in a second kind of really get in there. So it's going to cook our pumpkin quicker, but it's also going to make it that little bit more tasty. So we've preheated our oven here to 180 degrees. I'm going to roast this pumpkin kind of just cut in half. So hit it with some olive oil all the way on top. Make sure it's completely covered, just like that. We're going to grab some salt and pepper. I'm just going to throw some salt and pepper on top. And by roasting squash or roasting, stunning pumpkin, what happens is it draws out those natural sugars and it makes it really sweet and unctuous, and those caramelized kind of bits that get stuck in your teeth is what we're looking for here. So straight into the oven, 180 degrees. It's going to take 25 to 30 minutes. While our pumpkin is roasting and caramelizing and getting soft and delicious, we're going to make our filling. So to make our filling, the first step is to cook our beautiful bulgur. Okay, so I'm using a fine bulgur. It's really simple to cook. We're going to add 1 cup of this stunning bulgur to 2 cups of water. I'm then going to throw in some aromat, some garlic and some herbs. And we're going to wrap it up and just set it aside. And that's how easy it is to cook bulgur at home. A little bit of black pepper. And you can see it's already absorbing all of that liquid. So it takes no time at all to cook, no time at all to come together. And that's what I love about bulgur. While our bulgur is cooking and absorbing all of those flavors, we're going to add our other ingredients to our filling. So we're going to dice up some onion, we're going to dice up some garlic, some chili, we're going to chop some mushrooms, and then we're going to fry all of that together with some fresh herbs, some walnuts, and then we're going to add the bulgur at the very end. So in a pan with a generous amount of olive oil, you're going to fry down your onions, your garlic and your mushrooms until they're tender and they've all come together. Chop some of these fresh herbs, just run a knife through those herbs, nice, rough and ready. Once your bulgur has absorbed all that liquid, all of that flavor, you're just gonna grab a fork and you're just gonna fork it. So make it light and fluffy, and you're just gonna use a fork to break that up. So in with your fresh herbs, your walnuts, and finally your gorgeous bulgur. So that's our gorgeous filling. Just make sure it's really well seasoned with salt and pepper. So your beautiful pumpkin should be caramelized, tender, and ready to be put together. So this is where the fun comes into it. We have some beautiful vegan puff. We're gonna lay that out on the chopping board. We're then gonna add our mushroom filling on top of that puff pastry and top it with our slow roasted squash. And then you're just gonna top it with another layer of puff pastry. Use a fork to pinch the edges. So carefully transfer your gorgeous pumpkin Wellington onto a baking tray with some baking paper, and then chuck it in the oven until golden and crusty, about 25 to 30 minutes. So while our beautiful pumpkin Wellington is cooking, I'm going to teach you how to make a really quick mushroom tahini sauce to go with it. We're going to rehydrate some dried mushrooms with some hot water and then let that chill. We're then going to blend up our rehydrated mushrooms, tahini, water and nutritional yeast in a blender until it's smooth. And that's how easy it is, guys, to make my gorgeous pumpkin Wellington. Do me a favor, find this recipe over at Bondi Harvest, grab yourself a pack of Duru bulgur, give this recipe a crack. I promise you it will be a hero at your Christmas dinner table this festive season.